All right, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. I'm going to do a quick one today. I'm going to try and answer a community question. So there was a brother, I believe his name was Zubair. He asked me a question, and he's actually an old friend from like 20 years ago, last I saw him. So he asked me a question regarding Flexacoin, which also is known as AMP. So I want to go into a little bit more detail about this, so at least that way we can clarify some of the issues and what's really going on. And we need to do some sort of a confirmation and what's, exactly what it is. Hey Bubble, how you doing, bro? Nice to see you on the show. Thank you very much. So Flexacoin is an original what AMP used to be. So as you can see, Flexa was rebranded to AMP, and it classifies itself to be one of the most secure payment system for normal day-to-day use, because it uses AMP as a collateralization collateral, right? Let's just call it collateral for the payment gateway, right? So if a merchant is accepting payments, then they will use the AMP to make sure that payment is received. So there's no, how would you say this, there's no mispayment or not payment receiving or anything dodgy like this, right? So that means the merchants will always get paid. Now this is obviously what Flexa is, and Flexacoin is now obviously AMP, but the Flexa network still exists, right? So if you go to the website, you can see they've rebranded everything. One second. The Flexa network now is actually AMP. Okay, so that's what it is. This is what they're doing. Awesome. Pure digital, most fraud proof. Everything's great here. But we also want to see what is happening right now. So I know a lot of people are very bullish on AMP as it is, what it's doing, and I too am very bullish on AMP. Obviously, when the network was around, and I'll show you another chart, give me a second, because if I bring this one chart here, this would really make sense to you. So if you look at this specific chart, what you will notice is the Flexa network itself. So this was Flexa network, and it was doing the exact same thing as AMP. So Flexa network itself was growing rapidly until they announced that they're going to rebrand, and then it dumped. So you can see this data here from April 2016. So this is not a small project or something that's just come about new. This is an ancient project, right? In crypto terms, this is ancient. 2016 to now, that this is ancient. So all of this data is fantastic to look at, and you can see 2018 they did have a nice little rise, and then they dumped, and this is all of the data we can see. And then obviously they went offline to rebrand and come back again, and since they've come back, they're doing the same thing. What they did with Flexa, they're pretty much doing the same thing, and we can see this rapid growth. And this all makes sense to us when we look at it. We can see, okay, this is a strong project. There is some use case for it. I mean, a lot of use case for it. And definitely there's a lot of interest in this particular project. And this is why I'm super bullish on this, right? But we do have a problem. Now, what is the problem? The problem is Flexacoin, or AMP, currently has a competition. And the competition is Alchemy Pay. Now, Alchemy Pay is kind of offering the same thing, but Alchemy Pay is using a faster, stronger network and moving a lot faster than most people will expect. And they're doing masses of partnerships, right? So when you look at what they're doing, for example, Elrond, right? eGold recently partnered with Alchemy Pay, right? So when you're looking at all of this, crypto to fiat payments, this is insane. This is exactly what AMP is trying to do. Of course, AMP is classifying itself to be the most secure, and it has been in the game long enough. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you on the show, bro. Thank you. Nice of you to come over, guys. If you're new to the show, hit that subscribe, and always try and hit that like button so we can get the message out and get as many people as possible. We're not going to make this too long, but we are going to try and go through all of this, because this is I think the viewer asked me this question some time ago, but I actually completely forgot every single time. Nice to see you on the chat, bro. So this is what we have to understand, right? What eGold is doing with Alchemy Pay, what Alchemy Pay is doing on their own network, because Alchemy Pay wants to bring virtual cards and an actual payment gateway. Awesome. And then we've got what you call this, AMP, who's classifying themselves as the most secure. Now, I do see something, and I'll be honest with you. If Alchemy Pay partners up with AMP, I think both of them are going to explode, because AMP is the secured layer to payment gateways. Alchemy Pay is the payment system, and it totally makes sense because you want the cheapest network. And right now, them partnering with Elrond and doing all of this, it does make sense, because remember, Elrond has its ESDT, right? Which is similar to more like a USD, right? So they have their own dollar peg. And this is what I want to see, right? So they are partnering non-stop. I've heard breaking news about them partnering with merchants in Dubai and this and that and whatnot. There's a lot of news out there. So there's massive competition going on between this coin, Alchemy Pay, and this coin, AMP. Now, we do know that companies and institutions like Coinbase have actually invested into projects like this. So they clearly see something that we don't see, and we follow the money. When we see stuff like this, we follow the money. So obviously they do suffer a little bit when it comes to markets and market cycles. So you can see that it has suffered through the market cycle. This is AMP we're looking at, and it suffers because when the market dumps, everything dumps, right? There's no such thing as nothing will dump, right? Some things go against, some things don't. But ultimately what you're seeing here is we've got this pattern forming. We might see a nice little breakout, but I don't think it's time. I think there's more adoption to be required for AMP, and AMP needs to get out there and do a lot more partnerships. So this is AMP. If we go into Alchemy Pay is very recent compared to our AMP, and you can see the same pattern forming here. With the new partnerships and everything, obviously there's great news, but of course they all suffer from that greater problem that we have in the crypto sphere, right? We have this market problem where everything literally suffers a little bit, right, when the market goes down. Of course, you saw the title today, the video's title today. It's all about Bitcoin as well. So we are going to talk about Bitcoin, and did Bitcoin just get a flash crash, right? That's what we're going to talk about. So I just wanted to get this over with because I had the page open on Flexacoin, and I thought, you know what, I'll just start off with this, at least get that out of the way. Brother asked me the question, and it's going to be rude for me not to answer. And I did say to him yesterday that I'll definitely send him this information as well. So thought that while I remember, get that out of the way. Now let's have a look at the global market and see what the market is doing, because the market has dumped a little bit. We were sitting at $2.14 trillion yesterday, and we've come down by 1.91%, which is actually showing up as 2.12. Not much, okay? I wouldn't really bother too much, but what really happened, this is what we want to see, right? So of course the market reacts. When the big boys dump, the market reacts. So we need to go and see some of those data. This is coming back to normal. Let's have a look at this. So this is where everything happens. So we're looking at the hourly chart, and what we can see is so far it's been pretty steady, like the longs and shorts, nothing much happened until you can see here around El Bubble. No worries, man. Anytime, bro. Anytime. That's the whole idea. I need to, it's all about the community. This channel is about you guys, man. Keeping you guys at least one step, two steps ahead, and keeping your heads clear. That's the most important thing. So this is what we got. We got this massive liquidation candle here, but it's not as big as some of the things we saw. So of course it's a flash crash. But what you're seeing here is we don't really have much action in the industry. Right, so you can see BTC longs got liquidated. So there was a bit of longs were getting too excited, and longs got liquidated. But it only happened in 1 hour. And if you look carefully, what you see is we've had a $69 million dump. This is nothing. When we're talking about billions of dollars worth of volume per day, right? When you're talking about billions of dollars, for example, here 27 billion, and we can see the true volume as well if you want. For example, let me go here and activate the true volume. You can actually see the true volume here. Let me see, because I can actually show you the true volume. Yeah, there you go. The true volume today, right? So let's get this, and I'll activate something to show you. So this has been the true volume today. So the buying and selling, we want to see the mean, which is the average of the highs and lows. So actually we've had $13.74 billion, even though the market cap is showing a total of 27. So you can see the average is the number in between. And that's what we've had, which is awesome. So when we're talking about $69 million, nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I mean, when you look at this on a higher time frame, for example, 12 hours, absolutely nothing. So I know some people start panicking when they see these kind of wicks, but actually it's been nothing. It's just a fluke, right? We've had the biggest one we've had was the other day. Remember, that was an actual $3.17 billion liquidation compared to today, which is nothing. Right, so in like for example, in the last 12 hours total we've had is 85 million. Guys, that's nothing. So don't panic too much about it. Don't worry. I know some people are going to just take things out of proportion a little bit, but don't. That's what I wanted to say to you. This was nothing, just a minor blip. There's actually nothing happening in the market. The honest truth is you've got $83 billion of volume here. Most of this is probably not even true volume. Probably about 40 billion is mean volume, and very little money coming into the market, right? Also, when we start looking at the data and seeing how some of the markets have been reacting, for example, here you can see we've had some Bitcoin come into the market. And when some Bitcoins come into the market, of course, we're going to see a little bit of a dump because people are selling, people are not sure what's going to happen. And that's what it is. But we keep calm and we just, we either hodl or we buy more. And you can see the price movement and how BTC is coming. So some people have decided to just kind of cash out. So, but remember, the volume is key. And so far we can see there is nothing. This market is not doing anything, absolutely nothing. I mean, when you're talking about a almost $900 billion market cap and a $27 billion, volume, it's nothing, guys. So don't panic too much. Keep an eye on it. I can see money's just leaving here, moving into other projects. And what I'm seeing is where it's leaving. So we can track this by, and let's do this by volume, not by market cap, by volume. So if we track this all by volume, we can see most of the volume was sitting around the USDT. So people have been cashing out of these ones, moving into these ones. And once they did that, you can see clearly they've been moving it back into AVAX, Atom. Why? Because these coins have been pumping recently. So these are the coins that have been pumping. Awesome. So let's move straight into the data and have a look at other stuff as well. So for example, this is the spot exchange. You can see very tiny. So this is the actual orders. So far you can see half a Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, very small amounts of micro transactions. Most of them are probably bots. Unfortunately here I can't track if they're bots or not, but I think they're just most probably bots. Nothing really happening here. No manipulation, nothing, just absolutely nothing. Market is dead. I'll be honest with you. Crypto market right now is dead. What we need is super institutional bullish money coming in, right? So here we see something quite funny. This is the entire global market cap, and I do track the entire global market cap as well. And I've seen two data. One, I've seen this volume dropping off, and this is confirming that there's no volume in the market. This is just pathetic, right? We can see this, but I do see a bullish divergence also forming. So I see this particular area here where we're coming into a bit of a squeeze. Do you normally trust Sunday's price action? I do, because crypto market is 24 hours a day, 365 days. So for us, we have to trust all the data. It's 100%. And we know today, like for example, Saturday, Sunday is mostly retail. And this is why we're not seeing that volume. Do you see what I mean? So we're seeing micro transactions. People are buying small money. Local guys are like, FOMOing in or whatever. And they're like just buying. That's what they are doing. So cryptocurrency is the only asset currently that we can track 24 hours a day, 365 days. It doesn't shut down for us, and these data is absolute for us. But what we have to do, and to stay calm, answering Michael's question, Michael, what we do is we have to look at the data for what it is, take the average mean ratio of all of this data and say, well, what's the average? What's really happening? How much of this is the buy and how much of it is the sell? And if we do it in the middle, then that's what gives us the total data. So when we're seeing an 83 billion here, we should say it's around the 40 something billion, right? So that kind of makes more sense for us that, okay, the true market is not there. So remember, I've said many times, I said, if we end up seeing 200 billion here, that's when I know the market is hot. Right, means there's the mean ratio of 200 would be around 100 billion. So that's what we need to see, because remember, market, there's always going to be buys and sells, right? And we can demonstrate this here. For example, when we look at this chart here, you can see there's always a buy and sell, always a buy and sell. Obviously, unfortunately here, I can't track everything. I can only track on the order book here, I can only track specific markets, right? There's another one here. I can track how many Bitcoin has come into an exchange or left an exchange. And so far we can see not much Bitcoin has left the exchange, right? So there's not much there. In a one-day change, only $15 million. That's nothing. So we can see the data is confirming that the volume is low. It's a very, very low volume. But, based on all of these facts, we can see this. We can see what kind of coins are coming into the exchange. So we know that money is being prepared to buy the dips. So we can see this. We can see zillions coming in. That means either going in for staking or probably going in for a sell. So it could be one or the other. But whenever you see USD pegged coins pumping, remember this, the market is getting ready for a big move, right? And when the money moves, it moves together. So that's that. I wanted to talk a little bit about sushi as well. And I'm going to get back into, actually, no, let's finish Bitcoin and then we'll get to sushi. How about this, right? Because I don't want to mix things up a little bit. So that's what we're seeing anyway. So, nothing much. I want to see this to be like thousands of Bitcoin. Then that's going to be really awesome to see. Also, while we're on the subject, I wanted to see one other thing as well. This is just futures. I'm not going to even bother looking at this. But if we just look at Grayscale, let's have a look at Grayscale and see what Grayscale is doing. So Grayscale is indicating that BTC is definitely down. So remember, whenever we see these prices go into the greens, that's when we know everybody is very bullish. And remember, a few days ago we had LTC was very bullish, and right now LTC is coming on a discount, so it's the complete opposite. So the market is telling us that institutions are not buying these trust funds. You know what I mean? They're not ETF, but they are a trust fund. They're not buying these trust funds because it's easier for them to buy, hold for 6 months, make the money, and they're buying at a discount. For example, if you bought a BTC today, and the price of a BTC we know is currently 47,500. Well, on GBTC, you can actually get it for 15% discount. That's insane. For somebody who's going to be bullish, who's going to be holding for a long time, that's insane. You're getting a 15% discount on per Bitcoin. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of like, if they buy like 6 or 7 shares, for example, or 6 or 7 BTC, they're getting one for free. Do you know what I mean? So all of this makes sense. I mean, if they buy 6, they're getting 1 for free. So that's what it is. They'll end up with 7. So that's a lot of money that you're making. You're instantly in profit. And then obviously if the market favors you, then in 6 months time, you can withdraw and Bob's your uncle, right? You make money. So total market cap, there is some bullish indication. This is volume dropping off. I can see this volume dropping off maybe a little bit more and then coming back in finally and then pushing for it. But again, we've got to wait for it to see what the market does, because remember guys, it's not us, it's the market. What the market will do. There's nothing we can control. We cannot do any of this stuff. So this is on the daily. As you can see, that hourly candle that you saw, and I'll show you with the hourly, this hourly candle where we blipped and we had the liquidation, it doesn't even register on the 4 hourly. You can see on very little actually, but on the daily it doesn't even register. You know what I mean? It doesn't even register. So I'm not that fussed. The trend line is still secure. Let's see what the trend line does, because ultimately for us to do anything here, we're gonna have to break below the trend line. If we break below the trend line, then we've got a problem, and so far I don't know if I showed you this yesterday, and I'm gonna do this quickly again. All right, so this area here, okay, this specific area here, we've got a lovely little support here. So if we can hold this support, everything is fine. So if you look at this horizontal support, that's all we have to hold. So trend is secure, horizontal support is also very secure. We've got a lovely little gap here. Everything seems okay. We just need the market to come back and the volume to flow back in. That's what we need, guys, to be honest. So yeah, let's move over to Ethereum. Same story. Ethereum is a good indicator to know what Bitcoin is doing, is the true nature. So because what we've realized is whenever Ethereum is showing us a green, Bitcoin is also showing us a green, and they're both kind of reacting together because they are number 1 and number 2. Money flows out of them into the alts and money flows back into them to pump them. So we know these two kind of coincide with each other. I'm using Ethereum to track my Bitcoin, and I'm using Bitcoin to track the entire market. So that's that. Move over to DOT. DOT is holding support again. Remember, we mentioned this yesterday, I believe, as well. DOT is holding that support line, so it's become a very strong support range. I'm very, very happy about this actually, because seeing something like this does make all the difference, and it gives more confidence to the people in the DOT community that we are going to see a pump. And remember, DOT is the only coin that hasn't really done anything since this major dump. Do you know what I mean? So DOT did create a brand new all-time high. After that, DOT hasn't done anything. And we are expecting to see DOT make a major move at some point. But again, money needs to filter out of the other coins. So anything that's hyping right now will obviously be pumping. Like, for example, AVAX. A lot of money is moving into AVAX. So once money filters out of AVAX, they're going to go back into other coins. And I've got a good feeling DOT is going to just make a move. So people are going to start foaming into DOT. So that's DOT. Patience, that's what I'm going to say. Just be patient. If you're holding it, just hold tight. It's coming. You know, I've got a good feeling about this one because we're not that far. You see, percentage wise, we're not that far. And I think once we move and all the people realize that we're moving, money's going to start filtering in, and a lot of people are going to FOMO, and that's when we're going to benefit because we're just holding. And for me, I've locked it. Literally, I've locked all my DOT onto another platform. I'm not touching the DOT. My target to actually take some profits on DOT is around when it goes to around $300. So if it's $300 this year, if it's $300, you know, in 4 years time, I don't care. That's when I've planned to take my profit on DOT. So that's what I'm going to do. Solana recovered yesterday, took a little bit of a dive today because obviously the market, how the market's been reacting. And also if we actually go back here and show you something, if I show you this, you'll understand this makes more sense. So these are the top coins that the liquidation's been happening on. So you can see Bitcoin, you can see FTM, right? Phantom, Atom, AVAX, FTT, ETH, OMG, Luna, Solana. So you see what I'm trying to say? These are the top coins that were being traded on leverage platforms who are seeing liquidations, right? And these do cause a bit of a problem for people when they actually go to the market and see the price and they're like, oh, it's dumped. No, it hasn't dumped. It's just basically stupid traders trying to be greedy, make a bit of more money. They traded this candle without confirming. Remember, guys, we have a rule. Right, and the rule is very simple, and I'll show you what the rule is. Right, whenever we have a candle like this, what we need, right, and I'll draw this for you so you'll understand. So we have a candle. Imagine this blue candle. We have this candle. We have this candle, right? We need to know that we can confirm this candle by coming back here, and then when we open a trade, and this is a lot of common mistake a lot of people do. So when we open a trade, we need to open a trade once we come back here. So the shape we are drawing is pretty much like this, right? So we go up, we come down, and we say yes, we are staying up, then we confirm and we trade this level here. We do not trade this candle, right? We wait for that confirmation, and we usually buy around this area when we see a reversal on this particular area. And this is where a lot of people failed. They saw this, they wanted to trade, all they had to do was trade this and then move up, right? And you're almost instantly in profit. But people don't understand this. Again, sad. What can we do? No discipline, right? So this is what is happening right now. But I do see this move happening. I see DOT recovering, and you know, maybe a few days to a few weeks, as long as the market continues, it will come back here because the money is coming back. That's for sure. EGLD, I don't need to say much. Bubble, you do know I did talk about EGLD has to come back and touch this line here. So EGLD is coming down, but remember all of this, guys. One other thing as well I want to mention, basically just show you here. Exactly. No, you don't need to do leverage. It's absolutely insane because more people will lose leverage than actually make money. Only a handful. Remember, House doesn't give you free money. House is there to win money from you. So you see this pattern forming here. This is a very important pattern to actually observe, right? These are bullish patterns. So when we're talking about this and the market still going down, you think, oh my God, what's this guy talking about? No, these are bullish patterns because they usually break out. So what happens here, when we have a channel like this, we usually break out. And look how beautiful this channel has been so far, right? So we've gone up, we've come down, okay, a little bit here, down, up, down, to the line again, to the line again. And then now we need to go to the line again until we go back up there. So this is a bullish pattern. All right, whenever we see a market trending down, these are accumulation phase, and then you buy and then you just move forward again. So that's what we're seeing. So because the ultimate trend is still up, and the only time the trend breaks is if we go to this line here and we break below this specific level, then we've broken the trend. In fact, in this one's particular case, and on eGold's case, this is the neckline. So this particular level here, which is the $180, is actually the neckline, where if we break below this level, then we have a problem. We could even come all the way down here and actually bounce. That's not a problem. We can break the trend and still come here and still rebound, because remember, this is a support zone that we fixed over many days, whereas in here we've only had this particular support, which was done over, I think it was 3 or 4 days. Let me just check. 3 days. So this support level here was actually made over 3 days. So that obviously doesn't give us as strong as what we did here. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we had 7 days here and we've had 3 days here. So we understand, not so strong, very strong, you know. But currently seems like we're actually holding this specific support if you look carefully. And I'll zoom into it just to show you what I've just seen. And these things do look awesome. I mean, when you look at them, they are fantastic, right? So you can see how, so we've got this body here. So this is where we've got our support, and look how this has bounced exactly on that line. So, you know, ultimately this support could be respected, but if we did break, it's not a harm. We've still got a nice little support on the bottom. AVAX still pumping. AVAX is on another level. AVAX broke its all-time high and is now on a rip, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of money is pumping into this, but observe something very careful here. This is AVAX during launch. Forget all of that. Let me auto this as well. So this is launch. Awesome. And then we have this channel, and this is a bullish channel. You can see here we've created this bullish channel over many days, this downward sloping pattern, and then we broke out. Awesome. You know, and every time we did this, we broke out. You can see every time we went down, we broke out. Awesome. But I wanted to show something, and I want everybody to kind of come back down to earth with AVAX. Is AVAX going to go and pump to $100 or whatever? Yes, definitely. But observe this volume, and what you're going to see is we've had nothing on AVAX, nothing significant, until we came to this specific day here. So this level here, we've had absolutely nothing. So when you look at this date, it started on the 17th of August. So from the 17th of August, we had these massive volumes coming in, all of these news. AVAX got a partner, sold their tokens, $230 million. FOMO, and this is all indicating a FOMO candle means soon the party's going to be over. Soon the party's going to be over. So what I want everybody to do is just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. No financial advice, nothing here, but just be careful, because what we're seeing is basically we've had this massive surge of volume, money coming in, actual money coming into the market. I read some people are saying the bull cycle ends 2 weeks after September 27. What are your thoughts on the end of the bull cycle? Well, Michael, do you know what you need to do? Those people who are saying it, take a screenshot of what they said and then throw it in their face if it is wrong, okay? Because remember one major rule that we have, and there is no such thing as nobody knows what the next candle is going to print. Nobody. This entire market, we can only tell you based on trend and momentum what it is. We don't know what holds tomorrow. We don't know if this trading view setup is going to be active tomorrow. So how can somebody give you a specific date of September 27th that basically the bull run is over? That's what I'm saying. It's virtually impossible for someone to do that, because again, even if you look at a minute candle, we can all sit here and do this right now. So we have 13 seconds. So let's observe this for 13 seconds. Take your best guess. What's the next candle going to be? What color is going to be? That's what I'm asking. 5, 4, 3. What color is it going to be? Boom. It was a red. See, it was a blue. We don't know. You see what I mean? So this blue look at this. This is a minute candle. We don't know. But what we go by is what the entire market is doing. So we can go by momentum in the market, sentiment in the market. So you see what I mean? So anybody who says something like this, take a picture and basically just keep it and then just rub it in their face later on. And my opinion is once the 27th goes away and whatever they've said doesn't come true, stop listening to them. Don't follow them, because you need to be rational. You know, there are people who usually want to short the market. They have massive by the way, these are influencers. Some of these guys are influencers. They have massive communities behind them, and what they say, people actually do react to them. So if they say 27th, guess what they're going to expect to do? They're going to open a short, and then no based on crypto cycle is different, bro. So let me open the chart. because we did a big massive maths on this channel, and today's, I'm not going to make it too long. I've got about 15 minutes left, but I will do this again if everybody wants to. What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, 1 minute is not valid. So this is the cycle, right? And I'll show you how cycles work, right? So based on the cycle, we did a nice little calculation. We said, okay, after a certain pumps, what happens? And remember, we actually put this, and I'll put a link for the video underneath as well. I'm sure I can find the link. I'll put the link and I'll show you how the link works. This is what I said. When we were somewhere down here, I said dump expected to be over. That means this dump was expected to be over on the 19th of July, right? And we actually, the dump was over on the 21st of July. So on the 20th of July, sorry, 20th of July, the dump was over, and then we recovered back then. But at no point I've mentioned the market bull cycle to continue until the 18th. Now, when somebody's telling you something about the 27th, well, we do have a confirmation of what's going to happen on the 27th, because look here, we do have the 24th, which is the options expiry. So what will happen, and this is pure maths and logic and actual facts, we will have this zone here where we start looking to go up, and then we have a dump, right? But that's based on the options expiry on the 24th of September. And remember, after a dump, we could easily last a few days, right? So we could easily go down for a few days. So you can see this, when we pump, we dump. And if we you know, look here, pump, dump. Let me show you more time zones as well. So when we dump, then we pump. So it's the opposite all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, and nobody can give you an absolute date. And that chart I did, where did I put that chart again? Yeah, so this chart I did it based on a maps. It was complete. It was like we were observing the market, and we're saying, okay, if the market cycle does this many percentage, this many days, if it takes this much time. And I'm not going to do it all over again because it was a long process, but I am going to forward the link. Michael, if you're on Discord, I'll forward the link on Discord, so at least that way you can see. And also I'll post it on the bottom of this video when I remember. So because it is important, you need to actually observe how the cycles work. Some of these cycles work, you know, and why we believe that the market will make some changes. Because I remember we did observe this 2013 version, and we said, look, how long did it take for it from 2013 for it to come back to the cycle? And we measured that. So all we did was we literally took a candle like this, and we measured this, and we said, okay, that's how long it took for us to hit the top, and which was 33 bars. So if we retake this 33 bars and observe it based on this, and we actually gave it a little bit more time, because remember, we are talking about lengthening cycle, and based on that, so if we take 33 bars from the top of the market, from this particular candle. So if we take, and I might be a little bit wrong here because I'm doing it on a weekly, and if we take 33 bars, give me a second. No, I did it on daily. This is why it's causing a problem. So okay, let me do it on daily. Give me a second. Let me do this on a daily, because I did do it on a daily, and we had a different data. I remember how many days it was. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember we did see something like this. So let's get this accurate. I'm just going to do a short one for you, so it makes sense to you once you look at this for what it is, not for what the noise is. So we're on the daily. We're going to take this level. I'm going to say, okay, we had a dump here. So this was the candle. We had a dump from here to the peak. So we'll take it to the peak. We've got 235 days. We'll just use this 235 days. I'm sure I used some different maths at that time, but I can't remember what right now. My head is not there. I just want to quickly get this one in there for you. It will make sense. There's a whole video on it. Right. So where was the peak? That was the peak candle. So from here, the peak. So the peak, 235 days. Okay, so that's 235 days. Bear with me. I think I know exactly what I did last time. Because sometimes, you know, we sit there, we prepare for all of this stuff. So this is that. That's the 235 days until the market top, actually. So that was the market top. But then we looked at the recovery. And give me a second. Let me find the recovery. All right, because we did calculate the recovery when the market actually reacted. And I believe it was this candle here that I actually looked at, this area here, which would have been think it was 100 and something bars. I vaguely remember, but I think it was this one. Let's do 207 bars anyway. Just do 207 bars while we're here. It doesn't matter. You know, there is no rights and wrongs in when you do charts. It's all probabilities, and based on probabilities, we can see exactly what happens. But no, it wasn't 100 thing. It wasn't. If I'm correct, it wasn't, because. But anyway, we're still gonna do this. So we got 197 bars. 197. Let's just do 197 for God's sake. 197. So 197 takes us to October the 27th. So, and I said October the 18th, but I'm sure there was a maths there, what I did, and I showed it on the video. I'll bring it back again anyway. But we've got October, right, for the market to reverse. So far, we're not seeing any signals to say the market's going to dump and go on the 27th of September. The only thing we do have is actual fact, that is that we are going to see a options expiry on the last Friday of the month, which is the 24th. Nothing about 27th. 27th would be the Monday. So, you know, I don't know where they got the information, but as I said, keep those information. This is one of the reasons why I don't change my chart. So you can come back to me and say, you said this. And I can then answer you and say, well, yeah, you can challenge me and say, you said this. That's fine. This is what it is, right? That's why I always leave my things. I don't like to confuse people or print new charts and, you know, get on the hype train. Right, going back to, I hope this kind of showed you, because remember, this is a lagging chart, the one I'm using. This chart here is a lagging chart, so it's always 1 day late. But ultimately, there are multiple factors and datas, and we did some crazy maths, I remember, and I'll find that video, and that's how we did it. And if, of course, if any one of you find the video, then post the link to everybody so they can see the maths, what was all of this based on, and I hope this kind of helps. But yeah, let's move over to the next one. Cardano showing okay, so holding support, which is awesome to see. When we see support, then we also get to see something like this, right, which is really, really awesome. This is showing us that we are coming to that point where if we do break out, we should end up seeing a nice little pump. But I think the pump is only going to take us back to the previous high. We're not going to really go anywhere else. But Cardano, I believe, is going to surprise us. So I haven't dumped any of my Cardano. I'm still holding tight. I still got a feeling Cardano might do a $4 or $5, possibly even more. But I think we need to wait for the news to break out. We need to wait for the projects to come out. So anybody who's holding like me from 2018, just hodl. And that's what I've said many times to people. I said, I'm not selling. Even if Cardano dumps, I'm still not selling. I'm still in profit because I bought them at 6 cents, 10 cents. So end of the day, for me, it's well worth keeping. Dogecoin. Now, somebody mentioned Dogecoin. And I said, okay, I'll do some Dogecoin for them as well, right? Dogecoin is looking okay. I mean, currently, I'll be honest with you. There is some news we talked about, like Vitalik Buterin joined the foundation and a few other people joined the foundation. Only one problem Doge has, and they need to really, really solve this. So anybody who's bullish on Doge, guys, be careful, be warned. Doge is one of those you're going to probably lose money until they do some really serious upgrades to their network. And what we're looking at is the problem Doge has. It prints, it mines 10,000 Doge per minute. So there's an infinite supply. They need to cap the supply, or at least start burning some of the supply. And I think if Vitalik is there, Ethereum founder, then there may be some chances in the future where they do actually start destroying some of this. I would really love to see some of the coins destroyed because it's got an infinite supply. There's no cap, nothing. It just keeps on printing. So really want to see that happening. Then I can imagine $1 Doge or something, or even more. And I'm sure if there's a block and they start destroying coins, Doge could see even higher prices because it's not a bad technology. Remember, it's a clone of Bitcoin. Ultimately, it's a clone of Bitcoin that operates on its own blockchain and is being mined by the Litecoin Foundation. You know, so the technology is interoperable already. So there is a lot of potential if someone was serious about it. But we know in the beginning the founder wasn't serious, and we know right now some people are coming just because Elon Musk has shown some interest. It's got potential. I'll be honest with you, it's got potential, but they do have to fix some of that stuff. Let's move over to the next one, which was the next one, Sushi. Okay, I wanted to talk about Sushi. So today's breaking news: Sushi founder, where is it? Sushi's co-founder, 0x Maki, stepped down as the leader. So he steps down. He tweeted on Twitter and he said, "Look, I'm going. That's it. I can't do this anymore." Now, this is a common thing that you'll notice on a lot of projects, that just before a bull cycle end signal, a lot of these guys, they've made their money, they've done whatever, and then they kind of step down, so nobody can ask them whatnot and this and that. And that's what's going on. So I'm not sure what's going on, is if it's positive news, if it's bad news or whatever, but I know they were doing a lot of innovative stuff, and all of a sudden he just steps down as the leader. So really need to find out who the leader is going to be now and what's going to happen. But you know, he's going to remain in the DAO advisor. So let's see what happens. Yeah, Sushi's tokenization platform Miso suffered a 3 million. So I mean, you suffer a hack, and then all of a sudden the main guy decides to leave. It doesn't make any sense, you know what I mean? And this is the kind of stuff you really need to understand. I don't know what to say. I'm just going to say be careful. I do hold some sushi, not as much. I'm not a big sushi fan, because they did kind of literally copy Uniswap and do this. And Uniswap is a little bit more centralized. SushiSwap is not, because nobody knows who the founder is. I'm sure this is an indication that there's some sort of a bad news coming. You know what I mean? That's what I see all the time. You know, the hack or something, and then obviously someone just steps away. Basically, whatever trouble's coming, he's not going to be there. So I think this is one of the reasons Sushi's been kind of suffering a little bit as well recently, because I'm sure not a lot of people are happy, and obviously there's a lot of liquidations and whatnot is going on in the market as well. So let's see, again, if the market carries it, of course, why not? Sushi could go and do all-time highs and probably even more. Do you know what I mean? So let's see what it does. That should be something interesting to see. We've talked about AMP. As I said, AMP and ACH Pay competitors right now. I think if they combine, they will make a lot of difference. But also, me as a crypto fanatic, I have to be honest, all of these companies out there, they're making crypto to fiat gateways. Nobody's made crypto to crypto gateway. What we need to see is somebody come up with crypto to crypto. That means if a merchant wants to accept crypto, he should be freely able to accept crypto. He shouldn't be looking at fiat. You know, because if someone's paying with Bitcoin, the merchant should also have an option to accept Bitcoin if he wants. And that will give us more, you know, like Bitcoin community, more usage and everything. Crypto, like any crypto, any ERC20, whatever he wants to accept, he can select that. I mean, we've got thousands of coins. I don't see why we can't activate all of those coins and have a payment system that anybody could pay with anything. And if the merchant wants, right? So the merchant can select what he wants to accept and what he doesn't want to accept. I think that would be a great way to move forward. And countries like El Salvador, they actually use the Lightning Network to do this. So you pay with Bitcoin, they receive Bitcoin. If a country like that with 6 million people can do this, I don't see why the global population can't actually come up with something and do this. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, again, some countries and some companies are monopolizing on this feature, but other groups and everything haven't come up. What happened to the stream? I don't know, bro. I'm still on the stream as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm still on the stream, bro. So the stream is fine from my point of view. Stream is fine. We're active. Nothing's going on. Yeah, we're still live. I can see the chat. I can see you. So that's definitely still there. I'm still here. My screen is still there. And I'm sure everybody's viewing it. So yeah, Michael, the stream is still live, bro. Not sure what happened to you. Maybe internet bugged or something. So that's what I was saying. Anyway, so I hope the question, yeah, must have been trying, because we've been on it and the stream is fine. Also, I'm looking at the chat and the chat is fine. Today, funnily, the chat didn't bug. So I'm seeing it instantly. Whenever you're typing something, I'm actually seeing it at point, which is really cool. So yep, the community question for Zubair, I hope that was answered for you. AMP and everything, what's the future? AMP now does have challenges, but then again, AMP is an older payment system, so it's a lot more established, a lot more experience. ACH Pay is new, but coming with new innovation and making it more faster and more feasible. So they're kind of not too much focused on security on their side. They're using the blockchain that they're going to be working on. For example, Elrond, they're going to be using the blockchain security to do all of that stuff. Whereas in AMP uses a collateralization method, complete different unique way of doing it. So each to their own, they have their own potential. In my opinion, hedge on both. This is no financial advice, but you can actually hedge on both. I think both of them has great potential. Let's see who wins the race. but combining together would have been the best thing that I would want to see. And also, if they can have a crypto to crypto gateway, not a crypto to fiat gateway, I think that's going to explode. I mean, just imagine a platform or a software or an application that comes out and says, we're going to allow everybody globally on the planet to use our blockchain or our network to accept fiat currency. And they make it easy, because right now it's quite hard. That means a person's got to select the amount. And there are, I mean, on like WooCommerce and this and that, there are plugins that you can use, but that's a plugin, and they've always got some sort of a backdoor or something. Most of them do anyway. But I'm sure there could be a network out there that says, look, standard, you just take it, you use it, that's it. You know, that it has great potential. And as a payment gateway, it's 100% revenue, you know what I mean? So you make a lot of revenue on that as well. So it's a monetary system that can be built on the thing. I mean, I've worked around with a few things, and I've talked about it with many people. I'm struggling to find good developers. If I could find good trusted developers who would want to work on the project, then I have some things. Contact me, no worries, we'll talk on it, and we can probably come into some sort of an arrangement or a partnership and actually build this project. You know, because the thing is somebody needs to understand it, believe it, and go ahead. And I've seen so many people, and this has happened before as well. I've talked about projects like this, and they went a step ahead, and they went and started building their own project. And I'm still here, and I'm like, well, where are you? I don't see your project. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. People think they're too clever, and they run off with it. And like, no, that's not how it works. You know, you got to really have conviction. You got to believe in it. If you're just going to be a scammer and try and go and make some money and this and that, you're going to fail. You're bound to fail. When you're building something real, you got to put your energy into it, put your soul into it, and believe that you're going to be making a difference to the planet. And when you do, you'll get rewarded. But if you're thinking about the reward first, and you're like, oh, I want to make a lot of money, you're not going to make anything. Try and make a difference to someone's life. You know, try and make a difference to a business or an institution, right? And you will be rewarded for that. So make the solution before you want to solve your problem, which is your financial problem. Stop looking at that. So we need true believers in the community. And you know, some of the communities, like for example Monero, has one of the strongest developer community out there, because everybody believes in privacy. And Monero doesn't pay anybody. Nobody gets paid in Monero, but they all build it and they maintain it and they take it forward. And that's what's beautiful about communities. That's how we want to build something. And I think there are many people out there. Obviously there's tokenomics and everything involved as well. Big companies, institutions, I've spoken to many of them, and the same thing. It's all greed. It's like, oh, how do we make money? It's like, what are we talking about? We're trying to change people's lives, and you will be rewarded. But why are you worried about money? No, we need to know what the monetary system, what's the tokenomics, and how we're going to make money on it. Give us the financials for the next projection for the next 5 years. I'm like, what projection? What financials? Do you know what I mean? If you're already talking about how much money you're going to make, then the project has already failed. We want to change 1 million people's lives. We want to change 1 billion people's lives. If we can do that, money will follow, you know? So again, it's perspective, each to their own, as I say always, right? But other than that, guys, I hope this stream was informative. I hope you found value. If you did, smash that like button. That's really, really awesome. And as I said, don't worry too much. Market's just doing its thing. Let it do its thing. I wouldn't worry too much. And of course, when Michael spoke about the date, 27th, as I said, take a screenshot of whoever said it. And then on the 27th, just rub it back onto their face, because the fact is, we don't know what the next candle is going to be. Nobody knows what the next 1 second candle is going to be. We can play that game all day long. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Like, you look at a candle and it's like, okay, this second is going to be this, or that second is going to be that. And then, you know, nothing works out, right? Because you're predicting something. You're saying, okay, the next candle is going to be blue, for example. It's not. It might turn out to be red. So it's a fun game. It's a fun game. But no one can tell you what the candle is going to be later on a specific date, especially unless they know something that we all don't. Unless they're an institution or something. Or the other issue is on that specific day, they'll open a trade opposite to what they've said. They'll expect you to all dump or whatever, and they'll make a little bit of money out of you. Same thing with pumps. They'll say, on this day, we're going to pump, and then they're going to start making some money off that. I'm not here for any of those things. There are links below my video, but it's up to you. I never mention my links. It's there if you want to use it. The only thing I do mention is my Discord, and I say, come there to communicate with me. Other than that, guys, links are there. Use them if you want. I don't really care. There's a disclaimer there as well. I'm not here to promote anything, here to make any money out of you, here to go and trade against you. because that's what's happening. A lot of these influencers, they are using you as a tool to either pump or dump the market in their favor, and that's not what I'm here for. So hope you found value. And as I said, if you know any good development team with the Solidity experience, or even Rust experience, or Go experience, like actual who understand blockchains or blockchain languages, contact me. Discord, I'm there. We openly talk. We'll do something together as a community. And I think anybody in the Discord group will have an option. I'm not one of those who's going to keep it to myself. I think we can have an open opportunity for everybody to get involved one way or another. There's always a way to get involved in projects, and that's what I do currently when I talk to many people, many communities. Even if it means a very small percent, I always, I try and get involved. Do you know what I mean? Why not? Do you know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. But yeah, just keep your head clear. Don't worry. Market's going to do what the market's going to do. There is nobody out there who can predict what the market's going to do tomorrow, an hour from now, a minute from now. No way. No way. And that's impossible. Yeah, we've got like our hodl bot posting on Discord. Avalanche received 230 million. Exactly. So that news has been pumping hard recently. And this is one of the reasons why Avalanche has been pumping as well. Where is it? AVAX. Where did I put AVAX? I must have had it here somewhere. AVAX. Let's bring AVAX. So yeah, AVAX is getting a nice little pump anyway. So let's see what AVAX does. How far AVAX could go. In my opinion, as I said, I think maybe even $100. Probably even more. But just look at one fact. Remember, this is a very important fact. This volume here, this is it. This is all AVAX has ever done in its entire history compared to every other time. So even here, if you look at this, I've miniaturized it. This is AVAX, and then this is AVAX. So these are some pumps you can see they were not sustainable. So some of these pumps not sustainable, very small. And then this has been AVAX. All of this hype around here. So it's not going to last long. Other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe, and hope to catch you on another one. Adios, my amigos. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all here. Thank you very much, Michael, for asking all the questions. It really helps. Thank you very much, Bubble, for coming to the show and asking all these questions. It does really help. Gives me more things to answer, and I will definitely post something regarding the that video that I made about the lengthening cycle and how I actually published these dates. So remember when we talked about these dates on this particular level here, I'll show you exactly that video. I'll post it on Discord, or I'll post it on even on this one, and I'll show you why these dates are there. In fact, a lot of people, if they are smart enough and observant, they will also see there's another hidden date sitting here as well. So I do have that as well. And also there's another chart that I've been sitting on. You have seen it before, everyone has seen it, but no one's actually spoke about it recently, so I'm not saying much. That chart has been sitting here. Put on a weekly and bring it back here. So that chart has been sitting here for a very, very long time with some data points on it. Again, I haven't talked about it. I have briefly mentioned it a few times, and I mentioned this cycle. And if you look above, let's get this here. So if you look above on the chart, zoom out, and this is what you see that I have sitting just above this cycle, and you can see that some of these prices are just insane. 229, $300,000. So yeah, other than that, guys, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you on another one very soon. You've been awesome. Nice having you here, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Adios, my amigos.